Boxing is a fiercely competitive sport. A true boxing champion is an amalgamation of skill, technique, courage, determination, and character. Over the years, many athletes have tried their hand at the sport, but only a select few have gone on to define their generation. These are the champions who have inspired future generations and carved out a name for themselves in boxing folklore. Boxing's popularity has slowly declined since the turn of the century. Many of its American superstars came from the 1970s and 80s when legends such as Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard captivated the world. However, in recent times, the sport has suffered from not having multiple boxing heroes from the States to pull crowds. And that has left a void in the hearts of die-hard boxing fans. In this article, however, we will take a trip down memory lane and look at 10 iconic American boxers who shaped the contours of the global game and have left an indelible mark on the sport of boxing. The ranking criteria will include the overall record, the boxer's ability in the ring, and, obviously, the amount of titles he has won during his time in the sport. One of the greatest heavyweight fighters of all time, Evander Holyfield was a force to be reckoned with. The real deal, as he was nicknamed during his fighting career, became undisputed champion in two different weight classes: cruiserweight and heavyweight. Known for his legendary battles with Mike Tyson, Holyfield was one of the sport's most technical fighters and had tremendous stamina that helped him beat legends such as George Foreman, Larry Holmes, and Tyson. His first fight with Iron Mike helped him reclaim the WBA title. The fight was dubbed Fight of the Year and Upset of the Year by the Ring magazine. Holyfield is also the sport's only four-time heavyweight champion, going past Muhammad Ali's record of 3. Jack Johnson was one of America's trailblazing boxers, who became the first African-American boxer to win the world heavyweight title. The Texas native, known as Galveston Giant, was one of the sport's greatest defensive fighters and possessed a powerful right hand. Johnson overcame racial barriers and prejudices to become one of the sport's best boxers. Johnson's most iconic moment came in 1910 when his win over James J. Jeffries caused nationwide riots. The fight was named the Fight of the Century. Despite his dominance in the ring, Johnson was often a victim of racial prejudice, which forced him to leave his country and fight overseas for 6 years. Johnson's contribution to the sport of boxing was profound and his legacy lives on to this day. Joe Frazier was one of the very few boxers who managed to defeat the great Muhammad Ali. That in itself gives the late superstar boxer a place on this list. However, Frazier was much more than that. The South Carolina native was the undisputed heavyweight champion from 1970 to 1973. Nicknamed Smokin' Joe, Frazier was one of the sport's most powerful punchers and his left hook had devastating force. Known for his pressure fighting style and durability, Frazier's ability to absorb punishment was one of his massive strengths, and that helped him go the distance in 11 of his 37 professional fights. Frazier's bouts with Ali were legendary. Their first fight was termed the Fight of the Century as Frazier scored a huge victory over his arch-nemesis. These two went at it 2 more times, culminating in what is now known as the Thrilla in Manila. Although Ali won the trilogy 2-1, Frazier showcased his enormous grit and talent throughout the 3 fights and has rightfully earned a spot on this list. Sugar Ray Leonard admired the great Muhammad Ali throughout his formative years, and that showed in the way he fought inside the ring. The Rocky Mount, North Carolina-born boxer was known for his incredible footwork and exceptional hand speed, much like his idol. In his 20-year-long career, Leonard won world titles in 5 different weight classes: welterweight, light middleweight, middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight. Leonard also won the gold medal in the light welterweight division at the 1976 Olympic Games. He was a part of the legendary 4 Kings of the Ring, alongside Roberto Duran, Thomas Hagler, and Marvin Hagler. Leonard was named the Boxer of the Decade in the 1980s and became the first fighter to earn over $100 million in purses throughout his career. Leonard had iconic bouts against Duran and Hagler, which are still remembered to this day. Mike Tyson was as controversial a boxer as he was amazing. The ferocious fighter earned himself the nicknames Iron Mike and the baddest man of the planet due to his intimidating style and powerful punches. Tyson's victory over Trevor Berbick in 1986 cemented him as the youngest heavyweight champion in history at just 20 years old. Tyson won his first 19 bouts via knockouts, 12 of them being in the first round. He was a dominating force in the ring and opponents started the fight on the back foot due to his sheer presence and aura inside the ring. However, Tyson is also one of the sport's most controversial figures. The iconic boxer was disqualified for biting Evander Holyfield's ear during their 1997 rematch. He was also the subject of multiple outside-the-ring controversies that tarnished his reputation. Despite all this, Tyson is still considered by many as one of the greatest boxers of all time. He was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2011. Rocky Marciano finished his career as the only undefeated heavyweight fighter in the history of the sport. The Massachusetts native won 49 bouts throughout his career, 43 of which were knockouts. He didn't lose a single professional fight in his career, and that is as legendary as it comes. Marciano first won the World Heavyweight title in 1952 by knocking out Jersey Joe Walcott in the 13th round. He later defended his title 6 times against great opponents such as Walcott, Roland Lastraza, Ezard Charles, Don Cockle, and Archie Moore. His bout against Moore was especially iconic. Marciano won the fight by knockout despite being knocked down by his opponent earlier in the bout. Marciano's ability to absorb punishment and deliver killer blows made him a nightmare for opponents during that time. His legacy lives on today as the only undefeated heavyweight champion to ever step into the ring. Floyd Mayweather is another iconic boxer who finished his career with an unbeaten record of 50-0. The Michigan-born fighter won 15 major championships in 5 different weight classes: super featherweight, lightweight, light welterweight, welterweight, and light middleweight. Mayweather's strengths included his defensive skills, speed, and sensational ring IQ, which propelled him into becoming one of the sport's greatest ever fighters. He also won a bronze medal in the 1996 Olympic Games and was named the Boxer of the Decade in the 2010s by the Boxing Writers Association of America. He is also one of the world's wealthiest athletes as he topped the Forbes list multiple times throughout his 21-year-long career. Mayweather defeated the likes of Oscar de la Hoya and Manny Pacquiao in his illustrious career. His ability to generate massive pay-per-view numbers solidified his legacy as one of the sport's iconic superstars. Joe Louis might be the sport's most influential athlete of all time. His work extended beyond the ring as he played a huge role in breaking the racial barriers in sports. Nicknamed the Brown Bomber, Louis terrorized his opponents with exceptional ring intelligence, devastating and accurate punches, and terrific defensive skills. His 1938 rematch against German boxer Max Schmeling was viewed as a battle between American democracy and Nazi ideology. Louis' first round knockout victory made him a national hero, and his calm demeanor and sportsmanship made him a well-liked and respected figure across racial lines. Louis defended his title 25 times throughout his career, still a record for any weight class. Sugar Ray Robinson, just like Joe Louis and Jack Johnson, was one of boxing's most influential characters in the early 20th century. The Georgia native is widely regarded as one of the best fighters to ever step into the ring. Robinson held the world welterweight title from 1946 to 1951 and won the world middleweight title 5 times. His speed, defensive skills, and powerful punching made him a formidable force inside the ring and helped him win over fierce opponents such as Jake LaMotta and Carmen Basilio. His brutal 13-round bout against LaMotta was dubbed the Street Valentine's Day Massacre and won him the middleweight title in 1951. Robinson won 174, lost 19, and drew 6 fights throughout his career. He won 109 fights by knockout. Robinson is still regarded as one of the greatest fighters of all time, and his legacy lives even after he died in 1989. Muhammad Ali is widely regarded as the greatest athlete to ever exist on planet Earth. His influence goes way beyond the sport of boxing, as his charismatic personality and outspoken nature made him a beloved sporting figure of the 20th century. Ali was a fierce competitor who displayed amazing footwork, agility, and defensive skills in the ring. The Kentucky-born fighter won the world heavyweight title 3 times and defended it 19 times throughout his career. He also won the gold medal in the light heavyweight division at the 1960 Rome Olympics. His battles with Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, and George Foreman have been etched into boxing folklore. Ali's career was also marred by political controversies. However, his boxing legacy lives on to this day, and he is still remembered as the greatest boxer ever.